Hey, what's up? It's another episode of Watch You Strappin, and these aren't reviews. They're just quick wristwatch check of the day with a strapper choice. And this is the Glycine Airman Vintage, the Chief, GL0303. Maybe I should just abbreviate this next time. Anyways, really great vintage inspired piece. Well, I don't know. Is it vintage inspired? I mean, this is a design that they've originated and basically kept for the last 50 plus years, right? This originally, Airman, I think, originally debuted commercially as the first available GMT watch back in 1953. And right now it is 2021 at the butt end of it, almost 2022. So, holy crap. Next year, it'll basically be, what, 70 years? Yeah, so, and the style has basically remained unchanged. It's just been kind of slightly modernized. Of course, the movement is not the original, which I'm not exactly sure what the caliber was, but these are running, Swiss Edder movements or Salida equivalent. At least this it should be. And yeah, anyways, not going to go into a review. I've done a review basically on this watch. I used to own the purist version, and that was before they had the sapphire crystal, which this does, and they had a lower water resistance of like something like 10 meters, and this is 30. So it's definitely an upgrade in my book. But other than that, basically it's the exact same watch, other than this is the GMT with the fourth hand of a GMT version. I prefer the purist, but they don't make one, and there's these new upgraded, I guess, production models, at least not yet, and it's fine. I overall like the styling anyways, regardless if it's purist or GMT. And the GMT hand is rather low profile. It's blue like the rest of the hands, but it's dark enough to match the background, and I do sort of want it to disappear. The problem with I think most Airmans is 3 out of the 4 hands, at least if you get the GMT version, are practically the same. Not the hour hand, but as you can see, the minute running seconds and the GMT are approximately the same length, if not the same thickness. It's more so evident if you get any other version, but basically with the silver hands, then the lume and the silver part are basically pretty bright and look like one thing. So if you can imagine, that second hand and that GMT hand will look silver too, as well as that minute hand, and that can all kind of look the same upon first glance, and it might take you a while to decipher which hand is which. It's not that obvious. There are other models of Airmans where the GMT hand is painted differently, where it stands out. But most of the vintage models, they tend to be pretty low profile, and they don't stand out that well. They pretty much match the seconds or the minute hands, really. But if you get something like an Airbase 22, perhaps one of the Airman 42s, Airman 18s, those are off the top of my head. Those are like more, I would consider more modern versions of the Airman, at least color-wise, and especially some of the design elements. If you look at those, you can see that they looked pretty different than these. This one, like the Chief and the Airman number 1s, they pretty much are identical, but there are some subtle differences. But anyways, this isn't a review. I'm just babbling on. This is on a Watch Steward strap. I've had this for a while. Haven't had a 22 millimeter watch lug width to put it on for a while until I got this Airman back. So I'm glad I was able to reuse my old straps that's just been sitting in a strap box of 22s. 22 millimeters, that is. And this color is but I'm trying to recall, but I believe this is what Watch Steward called tan, but they no longer make this color, at least when I checked recently, just before filming this, because I wanted to see if that was a color. But off the top of my head, I believe this was called tan, and I like it because it's like a subdued kind of sandy brown color. Gives it a bit of vintage and military vibe, which I think it matches this color scheme and general style of watch pretty well. This is in the original configuration. I prefer a minimalist. It has maybe one less extra layer between the what's going on around here, and it's a little bit more simpler to, I guess, put on, or at least handle as well. It's kind of confusing to explain right now, but trust me, I will go with the minimalist, or I'm not sure one of their other. They have 4 different ways to configure their straps. They're basically made to order, but I believe I like the minimalist the most. But God, I gotta do my strap video, but we'll get into that some other day. Anyways, yeah. That's the thing about Watch Steward is they tend to make a batch or some runs of certain colors in certain sizes, and then they may disappear after they're sold out. Some stick around, I guess some of the more popular ones, but you just have to occasionally check back and see what's in stock and what's new and stuff like that. But it's pretty customizable, like to the size. Like if you got to your wrist size, they make it to the right length, so it's comfortably adjustable within that range. But these straps are generally pretty adjustable anyway, so even if you got your size wrong, if it's not too far off, it should be still well adjustable. You can what else can you do? You can customize, I think, the hardware, I think maybe the finish, whether it's branded or not. Before they didn't have that option, but they're always adding some new options and features, I think, to getting the straps made for you. And they're not too much for all that, and this is a pretty good elastic strap too, the quality. And their elastic material varies too between sizes and colors, I would say. But so far this one's been pretty solid. I think pretty comparable to Erica's originals. Have you ever tried one of those? But what was I gonna say? There was something else, but I forgot. Anyways, this is pretty cool strap. I like that. It looks kind of NATOish, right? But it's actually not, because it's not a double. It's not even a single pass through, because if you can see under here, there is no piece that runs through between your wrist and the watch, which is what I like. You get that look. It's still, but you don't have that raised, effect that you get from NATO's, even single strap. Depends on your watch, dimensions and the way it's designed. It may look or may not look as high off the wrist with one of those type of straps. But this definitely will keep it as low as possible, because there is no layer between. The only downside is, it doesn't act, of course, like a NATO strap would in terms of redundant safety. If a spring bar fails, this will fall off the wrist, because it's not a single closed loop. The NATO's, they run through the back, and it's a loop wrapped around the wrist with a watch attached on 2 points with the spring bars to it. And so if one spring bar fails, it's still attached because of that. And of course, if 2 fail, well, just shit out of luck, and then it'll fall off anyways. But this one, much like a 2-piece strap, if one spring bar fails, the watch will come off. So yeah, but knock on wood, never had that happen, and hope it never will. But it looks cool, and for around $25, not bad. I definitely recommend them, because I think they're well made in US, and got a variety of colors and options, and the price is definitely fair. Anyways, I'm not being paid or promoted to or any of that stuff to say anything good about Glycine or these straps. These are always paid for with my own money. Generally never any discounts unless I can find them online somewhere, but I'm not given anything or any special benefits for just doing these videos at all. They're just stuff that I like and I pay for with myself, and this is not a review anyways, but even in my reviews, that's generally the case. I don't usually get anything for free, if ever, and everything's pretty much my own personal purchase and likes. So that's where I'm coming from. Anyways, getting long enough. It's just a bad angle. Somehow the sun's coming through and beaming in, but love that blued hands over that gray radiant anthracite dial. anyways, cool watch. Definitely underrated. I think it's a great alternative if you're looking for a vintage inspired, or even if it's not, you get one of the more modern ones, but you know, something that's a GMT that is not you know, I would say a copy or rip off of some more popular GMT designs, and we'll leave it at that. And you probably know what I mean if you're into watches. So anyways, that's it. Thanks. Laters.